no, I don't plan to pay it.
She also says that if a debt collector calls her, she's going to block them, because why would you give that much money to a 23-year-old?
On your anniversary, they're working. On your birthday, they're working. On the holidays, they're working. You know why? Because they have astronomical amounts of debt that they need to pay off.
I never thought that it was $90,000 worth of debt.
I had about $45,000 in debt, but I was miserable.
Have you looked at what your loan payments are going to be? And I was like, shh, can't be that bad, right? This is everything I owe. Everything I owe.
All my life, I felt like I've been in the survival mode.
I don't make enough money for me to be in this much debt.
No, it's not my fault. I am just a girl.
So this teacher right here is complaining that she's broke. She's saying that she can't make the payment on her G-Wagon. She just can't afford a lot of things. I used to look at together. But before we look at this video, make sure y'all hit that follow button, because I keep you guys updated every single day and 3 times a day. So yeah, hit that follow button. Let's look at this video together.
How much my paycheck is as a Texas teacher of kindergarten and what I do with it. Deposit hit today, it was $7,500.81. As I am responsible for that, that was $3,581. Some change, I'm just gonna round everything up here. $1,200. My gym membership is $251 a month.
What?
I had groceries delivered this month twice for a total of $1,000. I did not have enough money this month to move anything to save. It's $1,548. I didn't do anything for my kids this month. I did not make a lot. And then, and my nails totaling $500. I didn't get gas this month. After I add everything up, it was a grand total of negative $124.
Let me tell you what you need to do. Number 1, get rid of that gym membership. $251 is insane. Number 2, you should $1,500 car payment. Why you got to have a car like that? $1,500. What your credit look like? On top.
See, we have a problem here. The problem is, and I'm happy that he's reacting to her, right? These ladies are spending too much money, and men are saying, They don't want to be involved with that, right? He, like he said, he's right. Why are you spending that much money on a car payment?
That hair and nails could have waited. That was another $500 wasted. Imagine if you didn't get your hair and nails done. You would have been positive. Well, I'm sorry. If you would have did the hair and nails and then the $251, what is that? $751? Okay. Yeah. You just got a whole lot of expenses that you created. This is debt. I hope you do know that. So don't sit here and say that you're not getting paid a lot. You're trying to live a certain lifestyle that you can't afford. You can, but you can't. Then on top of that, you driving that G-Wagon with no insurance. That speaks. Okay, you didn't pay for gas this month. You pay for groceries. Groceries in this economy, yeah, I understand that. But you created debt for yourself, and you're trying to make it seem like you're not getting paid a lot. And then your house payment or whatever, three bands. Like, come on now. You don't got to live like that. Let me tell you something too. Now, this all depends on the location that you're. Before I say what I'm about to say, you can get you a 4 or 5 bedroom house for $2,000 a month. You don't need that expensive. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I think that this was a pointless video that she made. And like and follow for more.
No, brother, hold up. Wait a minute. She needs to leave that video up. Men need to see this, because guys are watching saying, I want no parts. Nobody wants parts. There's a reason why guys are choosing financial celibacy, why guys are choosing to remain alone till they go over yonder, because of this. This is educational, my brother. We must learn.
29-year-old doctor who's $500,000 in debt. Between her home loan, her credit card debt, and her student loans, she is over $500,000 in debt. Would you date her? I would not. The challenge with doctors, lawyers, scientists, and anyone that's a lady in the STEM field who didn't have parents who could pay off their debt, their student loan debt, and put them through college cleanly, is you'll never be good enough for them. Because the only way that you're going to be good enough is if you clear them of all of their debt and their responsibility. Why in the holy hell would you have $260,000 in student loan debt or whatever she has, and then get a home loan on top of that? I don't understand, because with that student debt, your home loan interest rate goes up. Pay off your debt first. You'll get a better interest rate on your home loan. Open up a business. You can write off 100% of the lease. Open up a private practice. See people on the side. Get a nice apartment. Write 100% of your lease off. Listen, I have nothing against professional women. I think that they're some of the best in the business, especially when it comes to the medical field. But dating them is damn near impossible if you want to spend time with your actual woman, because on Saturdays they're working. On Sundays they're working. On your anniversary they're working. On your birthday they're working. On the holidays they're working. You know why? Because they have astronomical amounts of debt that they need to pay off.
Damn, that's an evil laugh. Astronomical debt they have to pay off. The Joker, right? But no, this is needed, right? See, they say, oh, men are bashing. Even with the video I made last, right? Oh, well, this video is probably going to play before that. But, oh, men have said we're buying homes. We're wasting our money. Listen, ladies, I don't hate, right? I congratulate you. Congrats on buying your homes. At least you're doing something right. But it's not a win, right? The people selling the homes, that's a win. There's men selling you the homes, winning, pressing on your love button, not your love button, but your impulse buyer button. Right? Use my man for the Joker laugh. You ladies need that laugh. Maybe you'll hear that laugh enough and start straightening it up because it's needed. Somebody talk to him.
But I never knew what the exact number was. So literally I knew that I had student loan payments. I knew I had 2 car payments. I knew that I had credit card payments, but I never put all of that together in a big pot and added it on up to figure out that I was $90,000 in debt, y'all. Okay, so when I actually found that number out, I ended up going on Credit Karma. Okay, I logged into Credit Karma and they have like a debt section, and at the bottom, I don't know how it is right now, but at the bottom it kind of breaks down every day and it shows you the total. And when I tell you I was appalled, I was so shocked and surprised because, again, I've never counted my debt like that. Like in my head, it was always like, okay, you got to pay the minimum on your credit card is $35. You got to pay a couple $100 for your student loans, a couple $100 for your car.
I'm going to do a video on that next. The minimum payment trap. Woo! Most women fall for. They're struggling to get by. That's it. The minimum payment trap that most women are struggling, most women fall for, has them struggling to get by. I got to write that down right now.
No, like I never thought that it was $90,000 worth of debt. The word of advice for people who want to start paying off debt, but you don't know how much debt you have, what accounts are where, I would say the best way to start is to either open up a Credit Karma or run your credit report. Running your credit report might be the best thing to do. Run that, and literally under Experian, TransUnion, and is a third one, they will let you know across every platform what student loans you have, what car loans you have, anything that's in collections, anybody who's trying to sue you, any medical debt. They literally have it in one place. That way you can get really organized and start tackling this beast.
Yeah, tackle something, right? Because you need something, right? And you notice a lot of times, I can't say it. You ladies are independent. You know what I was going to say. I was going to say men are level-headed, but I'm not going to say that because all you ladies are independent. You got it, queen. You got it. You can do it. I believe in you, right? Don't let nobody say you can't make it on your own. I believe you can make it on your own. I'm on your side. Keep trying. Try harder. The bear is there waiting to help you through.
Age of 21 is because I was drowning. I had about $45,000 in debt, and about half of that was consumer debt. The other half was just student loans, but I was miserable. Since I turned 18, I was living on my own. I was paying my own bills. It got to a point where I could no longer afford to live, and I was living off of the credit cards that I had. And
you know, I think that's foul because it was done to me too. They do that to Americans, even young men. They allow you to apply for everything, get credit cards, The one thing I didn't fall for, I didn't fall for the student loans. You know, that right there, I said, wait a minute, I'm gonna take out 100,000 student loan and I gotta pay what back? Seriously, because I had those offers on my table. And I looked at it, I said, oh no. My wife just looked at me like crazy. Do I react? But yeah, that's what I said. I said, no, I don't want to do that. I'm in this alone. Seriously. My mama and papa not helping me. I was young and I wasn't being a baby. I said, I'm not doing this. I don't want that kind of debt. And I'm happy I didn't do it.
And once I maxed those out, then I was really struggling. I had maxed out
And they give you
every card, like
and they give you credit cards too.
past maxed out ability.
Yeah.
It got to the point where I was doing this little trick where I would make the payment. Some of the cards would work, like Credit One and Apple. Those were way over the limit because with them, they let you make the payment and they immediately give you the credit back. So I would make a payment and then immediately use the credit that they gave me so that I can still use the card to like pay a bill or pay my rent. After a while, when I couldn't even afford to pay the credit cards anymore, that's when I was like, okay, yeah, I'm really drowning. I am in over my head. And side note, I know people are probably thinking, why would you move if you can't afford to live on your own? It's not that. I actually had a job lined up. It was a pretty mentally abusive job, so I did end up having to leave there. And then another job that I had lined up was actually literally just a scam. Like, it was not even a job. So once I moved back home and didn't have any major bills anymore, I started trying to tackle my credit card debt, and I was putting money towards it, but it was not getting anywhere. Mind you, I moved from Florida to Michigan, so I didn't have a job in Michigan yet. I've been trying to find a job in Michigan at this point. The job search was going atrocious. I was making payments on my credit card, but they were not getting anywhere. Like, I'm paying $100. The interest is $75, so I really only paid $25. Mind you, the card is already negative. The card's already negative, so I'm not getting anywhere. I ended up looking into something called debt consolidation, I think it was called. It didn't really help because I was still having to pay the lump sum amount of money. And it was going to take, I think, 4 years, they said, for me to even pay off the amount with the payment plan that they had for me. So one day when I was at work, I worked night shift. I just filled out a bunch of inquiries with a bunch of different lawyers in Michigan. Well, I looked up lawyers, but they had to have like good ratings. I wasn't just calling anybody, but I looked up a bunch of lawyers and had some meetings with a few of them. And the lawyer that I chose, Frago and Associates, they were great. They made me feel the most secure in my decision. They explained everything to me. They made me feel like it wasn't the end of the world. After I had my phone call with them, I didn't immediately file after that. I kind of was just getting my head in the game, trying to see if that's what I wanted to do. And when I tell you, immediately after, I started getting notices on my door from Capital One trying to sue me. I think it had at least been a year since I made a single payment on that credit card. I went ahead and I decided to file. I think from the time that they sent me documents to the time that I actually filed was maybe 2 weeks, I want to say. So I paid to get my case filed. And lo and behold, I come back from my signing appointment where I sign all the physical paperwork so that they can file my case. I come back and I officially got sued by Capital One. So before, they were just letting me know, like, hey, we're going to sue you. Like, I don't know the exact terms, but before it was like kind of like a warning, like, we're going to sue you. And then the day...
This is why America has so much debt, right? And you look at who has the most debt. I think with females, it's like around 66%. Men still have quite a lot of debt, but that's crazy. I think it's more than that. Overspending. And it's wild because in America, that's one of the only places where you can file bankruptcy. So yeah, I'm just gonna get rid of all this debt. And it's not just, females that are doing it, men are doing it, the rich do it. So it's a long standing thing that has the country in turmoil. And it doesn't feel like it, but what the establishment is trying to do now is they're trying to get rid of certain things that are out there, like giving out extra food stamps or giving people benefits that don't deserve them. It's like when I see them doing that, it's like finally, and it's not just actually, it's not mostly black women on those benefits. It's everybody, and also foreigners. So they definitely looked into it and said, "Oh no, we got to stop this." Illegal immigrants were taking all the money. It's crazy.
I filed when I got back home, it was a note that said have a court date on this day or something like that. It was like, it let me know like, yeah, they sued me. I called my lawyer immediately after that and I was like, I just got a letter like saying like they're suing me. Like I was really scared, honestly. Let me know they're like, look, you already filed, girl, you are okay. You're safe. You filed, they can't do anything to you. It just couldn't have been more meant to be for me to file in that moment. Like there's no way I come back from my filing and they actually went through with suing me. And they couldn't do nothing about it.
You see that? You see what happens? They were trying. A Capital One said, "We got to try to sue and get some money," but yeah, they really couldn't do nothing. This is what happens. The savior, daddy government, put that in there. It's a clause in the Constitution somewhere in there. I don't know, what kind of rule it is, to be honest with you, but there's a rule somewhere that it's set. Once you file bankruptcy, that's it. The country has bankruptcy to save everyone. The only thing it will not save you from those student loans. The government and other agencies were smart about that.
Getting sued and realizing that they're probably going to garnish my paychecks, I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and file. Even though I don't have it all together, I'm not perfect, I'm not rich, but I'm free. I am free. I don't have more debt than I make a year anymore. I cannot explain the feeling of filing bankruptcy unless you filed bankruptcy or like won the lottery and was able to pay off all your debt. I don't know. So yeah, that's why I filed. Again, everybody's situation is going to be different. Everybody's going to file for different reasons and everybody's not going to file for different reasons because people have different things that they can't afford to lose or whatever. So yeah, that's why I decided to file.
Man, filing for bankruptcy at 21 is crazy, but it's the American way.
Sharing this, but I know I have to. The message is loud. So yeah, as the title says, I am currently and have been for around a year now, literally the worst financial position that I've ever been in. And I've been thinking today, like, what really set it off? I work for myself and I was doing so well. I was getting higher and higher. And then it was just like all of a sudden, I've just got goosebumps. All of a sudden, it just went to say, but it was started more internal. And what I think it's from is last year, I was really diving into like childhood stuff and therapy and like really trying to, move through things. I had like really bad, repressed, whatever memories come up. And I didn't have the emotional support. I've realised I really didn't have the emotional support to help me move through that. And it was like deep stuff, dark stuff. And I feel like still to this day, I'm still trying to like, what do I do? I'm a single mum. So again, like, if you're a fellow single mum, you don't really have, I'm always on, like I'm always just on. And I've noticed I've just been in this like survival mode. Now, more than that, my boy's 4.5 years old. Like even all my life, I felt like I've been in the survival mode. But like this past year, because I went a bit like cookie.
If you were in survival mode, why did you have a child? Oh, you wanted love. You thought the baby was gonna keep the man. That's why they do it. They go, oh, if I have his child, he'll stay. Not all the times. That doesn't happen all the time. That child won't make a man stay, especially if your brain is warped. And most of their brains are warped. It's crazy.
Last year because of all coming up, but I didn't really have the emotional support and capacity to deal with it. I shut business down and obviously that really affected my finances. And I've just been chasing my tail ever since. And I'm just like, am I going to get out of this? am I going to get out of this? I know that I will, but like last year, my landlord sold the house and I had to move. Like I've fully left Manchester and I'm living in the country now, which is amazing, and I'm so glad it happened. So I'm now in a better environment to receive abundance. But now it's like my mind, because like I said, any money that I'm getting, it's going straight back out on like getting back on my feet to the debts that I owe. That, and I'm just like, ah. And it's like, what's the point?
I'm gonna stop it right there because somewhere in there, you saw how the young guy, the very young guy, broke down some of the things the lady was paying, and he came to a number of around $751 that she was overspending. I'm sure it's the same thing with her, right? Somewhere in there, you're spending for something you shouldn't be spending for. And that's why they say, if you want me, pick a bill. That's the conclusion they jump to. If you want me, pick a bill. And men are saying, no, I won't do that.
So you date a provider, you really don't know what that soft era for a woman really looks like. Let me break it down to you. A man that's a provider, they're not even going to ask you what you want to do when it comes to a date. They're going to tell you what you're doing. Because, see, the thing is, men that are providers, they've already done their research on you before they get you to know what type of woman that you are. Because they're prepared. They come prepared. They've already read the course. They've already studied the material.
Expected
so
now.
They
expect
know
it.
what they need to bring to the table rather than asking you what you bring to the table. They're there to simply match and add, not subtract, not
This is
ask
what they expect.
questions. Okay, they're coming with solutions. That's what providers do. And it's so easy to be able to tell when a man is a provider and when he's not, just by the way that he acts, how he treats you, how he speaks, how he carries himself. Men that are providers are so gentle with you, like they would never do certain things or even say certain things because they already know.
Men are not signing up for that because you see what she's explaining, right? She's explaining being in a bind and a man automatically picks a bill. She said that in so many words without saying that. That's what she was saying. Men are not dumb nowadays, and men aren't signing up for that. So now this debt is destroying women in 2026 because men don't want to pick a bill because they want you. Wow, when everybody give it up for free. Why would I? And it's not just black women, right, that are going through this. Black women, it's white women. Check it out.
Today is one of those days. I am a lot in debt.
It's a lot of that. You can get out though.
And I don't make enough money for me to be in this much debt.
Yeah, man. No solution. She's clueless. 26 years old, you just spend. I was once there, but it didn't go that deep with me, right? When I had debt, I went into like maybe 5,000 in debt, but that was it. What are you buying? Well, obviously, you went to debt for school. So a lot of times, I don't know if that's what it is because you didn't explain it. But if you got 20,000, 40, 30, 40,000 in school debt, and then you got credit card debt because you got credit cards while you're in school, I can tell from your age, she was lied to. All of these ladies finally realized they were lied to after they're in debt. And that's the conclusion she's came to now. It's sad, but I don't feel sad. And that's the sad part.
$300,000 of debt. And no, I don't plan to pay it.
She also says that if a debt collector calls her, she's going to block them, because why would you give that much money to a 23-year-old? She concludes the video by saying, no, it's not my fault. I am just a girl. The way that statement pisses me off when people make terrible decisions and then they use that as an excuse. Look, man, you can block all the debt collectors all you want, but you're not escaping. You think this at some point, you're going to be forced to pay. They're going to automatically take that shit from you. People always come online and justify their huge debt by saying, oh no, why would anybody give that type of money to a young person? Oh, that's the fault of the lender. Oh yeah? Okay, keep playing the victim and don't hold yourself accountable and don't make changes, and let's see how that will play out for you. I would have said that with the amount of debt that she has, maybe she went to med school, but after watching her content, I'm like, ain't no way this girl is that smart to be a doctor. She also says money isn't real, so the debt doesn't bother her. If this isn't rage bait, bro, you're going to be in for the biggest shock of your life.
Well, no, it's not rage bait because they're young and they think what they say is okay, because that's the thing to say nowadays. I'm just a girl. And they sing a song, I'm just a girl. Ding, ding. I don't know how the song goes, but I know it's something like that. Like, no. Men are not okay with that. Understand the position men are taking. Because everybody's saying that. 300,000 in debt. She feels the same way. If you want me, pick a bill. And men are not going for it. They're not. Why would a man go for this? That's what they're all saying. If you want me, pick a bill. Join my struggle.
Talk about this number right here. This is how much debt I have. I'm about $180,000 in debt from both federal and private student loans, my car loan, credit cards. That is all of my debt. I am 24 years old. I have a bachelor degree, so not even a master's. I have one minor, no focus in my major, as well as an honors degree, which did require some extra credits. So that is where this number is coming from. This is on top of the little amount of scholarships that I was awarded, so money I didn't have to pay back. This is everything I owe. Everything I owe. I came out of college in June of 2024, and I did not look at the debt that I was accruing. I took out loans as I needed them each year for college, and I didn't really think about what the percentages meant because I was never taught financial literacy. I didn't think about what the realistic number was going to be that I would have to owe each month on these loans, and they are astronomical, I will say. Sally Mae, which is my private loan creditor, wants $1,800 a month from me. That's just Sally Mae. I am right now in a grace period for 12 months where I only have to pay $1,033 to Sally Mae. I would not be able to afford the $1,800 a month if I wasn't able to get it down for 12 months. I don't know what I'm going to do in 11 months, but this is just me talking about it. On top of that,
I gotta say this. You may be okay because at least you're paying it. At least you're paying it. The last lady, you saw what the guy, when he reacted and said, I'm just a girl. You shouldn't have gave me that loan. I gotta give you a hand clap. Seriously, because you're trying. At least you're doing that.
About $287 to the federal government per month. That's not changing. And I owe $202 for my car payment. And that's not even including the $150 or $60 that I owe each month for the car insurance or my credit card payments. That doesn't include any of that. So, alone, Sally Mae wants $1,800 from me. I graduated college, as I just mentioned, in June of 2024, so this last year. And I wanted to just have a nice summer because I have been doing school for the last 5 years, and I've been taking summer courses full-time every year, and as well as working full-time. So this is also like the debt I have, and I was working full-time during the summers, and I was working part-time during the school years. So that's all, like, I still had no money, like, and I had to take out loans. So, being 23 years old, almost 24 when I graduated, I decided that I was just going to get a part-time job so that way I could only work part-time during the summer and kind of enjoy the summer because I had been doing over full-time in schools and working and had a role in my sorority, and I decided that I was just going to work part-time And if I had looked at my loans fresh out of college, which I highly recommend you do if you have loans, do not wait until they are due to start looking at them. I decided to do that and made barely any money, but I didn't have any loan payments at the time during the summer. And I wish that I had started making the payments as soon as possible on those loans while I had them. So I worked part-time. Around November, my best friend was like, hey, I have loans, you have loans. Have you looked at what your loan payments are going to be? And I was like, shh, can't be that bad, right? Wrong. I looked at my loan payments and I cried. Because I was not taught financial literacy. And I didn't understand how a credit company for student loans could charge me $1,800 if I wasn't making that much. I thought, okay, there must be something similar to the federal aid where you can do it based on income. No, they don't offer that. So I would also look into that before you take out student loans if they're going to offer income based or anything.
See, this is why I didn't sign for a student loan. I see this all the time. This happens with so many student loans, because now when you get a student loan, you actually have to have a lawyer. At 17, 18, I didn't know about any of that stuff. I looked at it and I said, no, I don't know what I'm doing. So because I didn't understand, I decided to opt out. I didn't say, oh, I'm going to go to school and I'm going to get rich. I knew how to hustle. I always been a hustler. I knew no matter what, I'm going to go into hustling. Best decision I ever made in my life. Not hustling as far as, you guys know what I'm talking about. We got to make these decisions when we're young. And I think that comes with parents putting us out there. And at 16 years old, my parents did with me. They said, I'm not giving you $1 anymore. And they didn't. So I had to go out and work. I had a job from 16 until now. And I thank them for it. It made me a man.
$91,300 worth of debt, and I am filing Chapter 7 bankruptcy today. I've had such a bad financial burden the last couple years. So after meeting with an attorney and doing lots of research.
I got to pause it right there because you already see that's the answer for all of them. Just go bankrupt. That's why the country, right, set it up to make all of these degrees non-professional. There was a reason he had to stop people from getting loans for him because it was going to keep going and keep creating debt. When I see videos like this, I understand why the president is doing everything he's doing. I'm not even on the side. I'm not on the side. I don't believe in politics, but what's going on nowadays, I understand it. Ain't that crazy?
I think men need to understand that the reason why women are so transactional now is because you wasted their time.
Who is that girl?
This has been going on for years. Y'all will meet women, y'all will act like y'all really like them, and y'all will waste time. Whether it's cheating,
she's
whether
blaming
it's
every man for
narcissistic, multiple. Y'all wasted their time. So yeah, now when you meet them, they're asking for the money up front. And to be honest, I don't blame them. Because me, I be scared to open up my mouth to ask for something. This is my boyfriend, you know what I'm saying? But like from a random nigga, I be scared. I be like, I don't think I should. But I don't blame them. The economy is getting higher, going up, and you're not gonna be in the business free. So yeah, you're gonna have to pay that fee. Yeah, and it's getting bigger than nails and hair money. It's getting bigger than that. So stop wasting these women time. Lock in and find you an actual girl that you actually want to be with. Be loyal. And maybe you would stop dealing with transactional women and just deal with your woman and take care of your woman. Be a loyal.
Men already know that's not going to happen. But it's fine. We understand what's happening in the date market now. So that's why you see what you see. And men are talking about it. They're shouting it to the mountaintops. No more. Other than that, thank y'all for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Peace out. See you next video.
The Iceman is coming!
Winter is here.